Hey, did you remember? Did you remember what's going on today? Today, this is important. You forgot. I can't believe you forgot. I'm just messing with you. I don't know what you got going on today. But you probably forgot something. I forget like 100 things a day. I feel like I remember like 200 things a day. I feel like there's just a lot going on. Maybe you feel the same way. Philippians chapter 2, verses 12 and 13, Paul talks about something that's pretty important to remember. Working out. What? Paul talks about working out? Working out? Like bench pressing and jogging and jumping jacks. Does anybody still do jumping jacks? I don't know, because I don't work out much. But Paul talks about working out in Philippians 2, 12 and 13. And here's what he says, and this is pretty cool. He says, hey, work out your own salvation. What? First of all, why is he talking about working out? And second of all, why does he say work out your own salvation? Because if you know how this works, then you know that Jesus is the one who worked out our salvation on the cross. Easter coming up, and so really every day is a remembrance of the power of the cross and the forgiveness that we have freely given and the power of a risen Savior. Well, if he did all the work, why does Paul tell me to work out my own salvation? So if you've ever been to the gym, and I've been a couple of times, and when I was a kid, man, I thought it was the coolest to work out. And I wanted one of those shirts that said 300 bench press, and I never got that. But I did enjoy working out, right? And what happens when you work out? Well, you're kind of toning and making your body cut, you know, and maybe dropping some pounds. Well, you don't invent your body at the gym. You walk in with your body, but you're there to get it in shape, right? And so when Paul says work out your salvation, well, Jesus worked out your salvation, but guess what we need to remember to do each day? Exercise it, man. Exercise your faith. Work out that salvation. How do you do that? Because maybe you say, man, I tried reading the Bible. It's pretty thick. And I made it a few books in, and then I got to all these measurements and names, and I was like, what? Been there, right? And maybe you said, man, I tried being nice. Jesus wants you to be nice, right? I tried to love people. Have you met the people around me? What? Look, I get it, right? Exercising your faith is tough. Here's the key. You don't do it on an empty stomach, right? I remember I would jog, I would run a few years ago, and still run sometimes, but a few years ago I was running, and I wanted to drop a lot of weight. And so I got this really brilliant idea. Maybe I should just not eat much. And I probably shouldn't have been eating as much as I was, and probably broken off my relationship with little Debbie. That was an unhealthy relationship. But I still needed to eat something. And I remember there was a couple of days where I just didn't eat a lot. And I went running, and man, it was tough. I was just slogging through the runs, and I was like, man, I feel awful. And I didn't even lose much weight those days. And then the next day I ate a little something, and I ate healthy. I ate the right thing. And I had something on my stomach, and I went out to run, and I was like, man, this is great. I got energy. Well, it's amazing how that works. Your body's designed to have some intake and some outtake and all that, right? Listen to the rest of what Paul says. He says, hey, work out your salvation. And then in verse 13, for it's God who works in you, both to will and to work for his good pleasure. Hey, you can't exercise your faith if you're not spending time with Jesus. In fact, just putting on the brakes of life and spending time with Jesus, that's the most important exercise that you've got to do today. Because if you don't spend time and allow him to fill you up, you don't stand a chance at the other exercise that you got to do. Allow him to fill you up, and then allow him to be with you and sit with you as you open up his word. Maybe start with the book of John. That's a cool one to start with. Allow him to fill you up as you try to love people that are tough to love. But you don't stand a chance if you don't fill up with him first. You're going to be out there and you're going to be running and you're going to say, this stinks. I'm tired. Yeah, it's because you didn't fill up. Hey, exercise your faith today. Work out your salvation. Be involved in it. Think about it. Spend time with the Savior first. That's Philippians 2. We'll tackle Philippians 3 next time. Hope you have a great week. Join us for worship Sunday mornings, 9:45 a.m. at Hardison Methodist Church when you're in Moxville. Thanks.